Dr. Shamsi, I want to go on, of course, the recent India-Pakistan conflict and the fallout. Since we know that Mr. Trump claimed and US, of course, mediated the ceasefire, and Pakistan publicly thanked US and President Trump for the ceasefire. But on the other hand, when we look at India's narrative, do you think this undercuts India's narrative of self-reliance in terms of security matters, and also how damaging is it for Modi's foreign policy and his foreign policy credibility?
Mariam, basically international affairs or international relations are very unforgiving. One mistake and you are done. That is happening with Mr. Modi at this time. He got a rising and shining India, which was very strong because of various reasons. We made a mistake in Kargil, and India went into the lap of the United States. The Bill Clinton visited and actually adopted India from that time onward. Unfortunate incidents of 9/11, and then India stage managed 26/11 and everything turned. India came on the borders, stayed there for 1 year, and the Bill Clinton factor, who initiated the foundational agreements followed by Mr. Bush, continued for 18 years, and the BECA was signed in 2019. This is how India went into. So Modi got an India which was really shining and very well supported by their NRIs, that is non-resident Indians, Indian diaspora, very active. Indian diaspora, through the help of their IT industry and Bollywood, really made India very famous all over the world. And India became a darling of the West, whereas Pakistan became the bad boy because of those blames on terrorism, etc., and all that, Taliban support and all. So I'll not go into that. However, now why is India falling apart? I've only written just a week back, is India falling or flying? That was the title of my article. And it was basically after the Operation Sindoor. At that time, the Indian Air Force Chief had not staked the claim. So I had written it before that. Why? Because if you, this is my personal opinion, I may be wrong, Dr. Sahiba and Dr. Sahiba can correct me. I do not trust that Modi has the capacity and capability of handling such a big state. This is my opinion. He sailed through because he got
for 11 years.
No, because he got a very good India.
Yeah.
So he sailed through. Congress, if you go back to Gandhi family, Indira Gandhi was preparing not Rajiv Gandhi but Sanjay Gandhi. Yes. He crashed. Rajiv was killed. One mistake, each by mother and son, done. The children were very small at that time, very young. Rahul, Priyanka, obviously they could not have taken. So the bridge, the gap was bridged by Manmohan Singh ji. But obviously Rahul had to take some time. Coming back to Modi, you got a very good India, very shining India, very popular India. I mean, at this time also, it remains the darling of the West. Just look at the tourism India attracts from the Westerners. But what he is doing now is just to stay in power. He is seeing that Gandhis are rising again, and he wants to crush him, and that is what the mistake he is making. He tried to bulldoze Pakistan in 2019 because he is insisting that there is a space for war under the nuclear threshold. Dr. Sahiba is teaching nuclear deterrence for the last 25 years. Ask her please this question. How come there is a space for war between two nuclear weapon states?
Of course.
Either we were told wrong by the experience of the Cold War that the nuclear states will not fight together, and why is Modi trying to make it wrong? Isn't it? He tried in 2019, all right, he got the lesson. But he doesn't believe that he cannot tame Pakistan. So he tried in 25. What I personally think is the Indian military is not truthful to Modi. They cannot go and tell him, because he is a macho man, they cannot, the army chief, air force chief, they cannot go and tell him that, sir, we cannot handle Pakistan armed forces.
Right.
They are not telling, isn't it? And that is why after every 4 or 5 years he keeps on trying. This
And
is where
it keeps on backfiring for India.
this is where I would praise Pakistan armed forces, that the chiefs have the guts and the truthfulness and the loyalty to the civilian government. They go and tell them that, sir, A is possible, B is not possible, C is possible, D is not possible. That is not happening in India. And that is why a person of the stature of an Indian Air Force chief, the fourth or third largest Air Force chief, comes on the screen, his body language is not supporting his words, and he had to say 3 times that we had full option and permission from the civilian government. Why did you have to tell 3 times? Isn't it? Only because he has been
And
pressed.
then he had to face humiliation from within his own ranks.
Obviously,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean,
Which
first,
is unprecedented.
No. First they were targeted that how come you lost so many aircraft in 58 minutes, isn't it? And hats off to Pakistan Armed
Of
Forces
course.
and Pakistan Air Force, and hats off to the Chief of the Air Force, Air Chief Marshal Zahir Ahmed Babar Sidhu, that his handling of his own strategy, because he was the
Right.
strategist and he was the executioner himself. Within 58 minutes, he outmaneuvered, outsmarted, and outshot from the sky 6 aeroplanes, out of which 4 were 4.5 generation Rafale aircraft.
Right.
I mean, this is no mean joke. Why? Because air strategies are not formulated in one day. India was formulating its strategy since 2019. You must remember, Modi had said in his election campaign that if Rafale were there, we would not have suffered the humiliation,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
Once he got Rafale, he got S-400, he got the Israeli drones and UAVs, they prepared a strategy, and Indian Prime Minister thought that now we are good enough to tame Pakistan, and he again tasked Indian Air Force to go ahead and do it 6th May after Pahalgam,
Right.
isn't it? On the other hand, I think Pakistan Air Force was waiting since Pahalgam, and they gave him 12 days. Modi gave 12 days to Indian Air Force, and Pakistan Air Force got 12 days all by itself, and it's a legacy of Pakistan Air Force leadership that they prepare themselves. Recall from the history, Noor Khan Saab himself went to the army chief after 465 war. He says that I think war is coming, let's prepare. This is what Zahir Baba did.
We were prepared
Prepare
indeed.
himself.
Of course, we were prepared indeed for what was
Yes.
coming, and gave a befitting response to India that not only shocked India but the world as well. But